For IceCaps 360 inside Mile 1 Center, I'm St. John's play-by-play broadcaster Brian Rogers with the head coach of your IceCaps, Keith McCambridge. Keith, nice to be home after a 6-game, 11-day road trip, and your hockey club was admirable on the road, 3-3. You only had a couple down periods for the most part, and you must be pretty pleased with the effort of your team.
Yeah, I think the identity of our team is starting to form. The players themselves, what the systems and execution, the expectations that we have for them and they have for themselves is starting to form and starting to rise to the top here for us. So I thought there was some real positives on that road trip. Obviously, we would have liked to come out of there 4-2 instead of splitting it 3-3. But I thought for the most part the group did some real positive things. I liked the way we played in the Portland series. I thought against a team that hadn't won on their home ice, so obviously a motivated, hungry team. Playing Manchester the first 2 games, a really strong club. We're going to see them again here, obviously, tomorrow night. And then Worcester, you're dealing with a team that lost 7-1 the night before, was called out by the coaching staff to see if they have more, and they look like they were obviously playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. And you never make excuses in this game, but 6 games and 9 nights with a little bit of travel in there seemed to really take the wind out of our sails a little bit more than usual after they scored that first goal at the end of the first period. And I thought the Providence game, I thought the guys, there was some positives to build off there. I thought, for the most part, again, the foundation of where we're trying to go with this was starting to come out.
Yeah. Let's just briefly talk about Zach Redmond, because we all know what he's gone through, but he played the 2 games for you. He made an immediate impact for you. He set up Jaff for a beautiful shorthanded goal. Then he scored the eventual game winner and played solid in Worcester before his recall. Your thoughts on the progress that he made and what he had to endure before being recalled?
Well, I thought seeing him in training camp in Winnipeg, that his game from that injury he had last season hadn't changed. I thought the biggest thing with Reds over the years is his first 3 steps. They're quick, they're explosive, he gets himself out of trouble, and I still see that in his game. I saw it before he had the injury here in practice, and again here now rehabbing and getting back on the ice. So his demeanor, his personality, how he presents himself is outstanding for a guy that's had 2 back-to-back tough injuries at tough times in his career. So just as pleased as I'm sure the rest of the players in the room and the rest of the staff are to have him on the ice and see him succeed. So wish him all the luck in Winnipeg, and we hope that he continues playing the same way up there.
Yeah. In the meantime, Julian and Ben come back from their stint in Winnipeg. Benny got in against the defending Stanley Cup champions, and Melk didn't get in. But let's just talk about Ben and what that had to be like for him in his first game. You're up against Taze and Kane and a very, very good hockey club.
Yeah, the thing for me is it's about development. It's about Ben Sherratt. He earned that opportunity. He was playing good hockey for us down here, regardless of how things went against a real explosive team in Chicago. If you're looking at it from his eyes, you're seeing a player that he now has a taste for it. He's now been up there. He's got that game under his belt that no one can take away from him. Now he comes down here and needs to be a motivated player to get back to the National League. Julian Melchiori going up there, obviously also is second time on recall, not having the opportunity to play, but Julian has been, as of late, getting back to how he played last season. We have high expectations for both of those defensemen, and I think both of them have done some really strong things this year, and I think Mel's game was at a decent level, but has really started to get back to where I know he wants it to be, and where we've sat down and talked to him about where we need it to be. So both those guys pushed themselves pretty hard. Mel, without a doubt, wants to be that guy, that recall guy, and so does Benny. So pleased that both young defensemen have had that development step in their game, and now look to build off that down here in the American League.
Yeah. Keith, let's talk a little bit about this series coming up, beginning tomorrow night. You split with Manchester. They have a couple guys in recall. I know you don't worry about that. You could see that one almost coming in Bay and to Foley, but you've got a couple guys coming back too. Can we get an update on the status of Adam Lowry and Jerome Sampson?
Both players are healthy. They will play. Obviously, when you talk about the other team with call-ups, I'm always a big believer, and eventually it all evens itself out. We have call-ups during the year. Obviously, they do also. We had last time they're in their building, they had their full healthy lineup that played, and not to take anything away, that's a really good team over there in Manchester. But both those players, Adam Lowry has now rehabbed, got himself back to 100%. He'll be inserted in the lineup. We're starting to play back to the level that he finished off in at the end of the regular season for us last season. So he'll be in here. Jerome Sampson, same thing, was one of our best forwards there before he got injured. Looking forward to adding him into lineup, a good solid two-way player that can really shoot the puck. But also you have to realize that they've missed a substantial amount of time, so it's not just going to be plugging it in and push and play for those guys to go. We're going to have to ease them into lineup, make sure we're watching, make sure that they're not getting too fatigued. But it's going to take a couple shifts, a couple periods, and maybe a couple games to get back to the level they need to be at.
Yeah. And the last one for you, Coach. Eddie has been a horse for you so far. He's been playing sensational in goal. It looks like he really wants to be your #1 guy, and will we see him the weekend?
Yes, Eddie will be playing the game tomorrow night. He's been strong in net for us. I base it a lot in evaluation on is your goaltender, has he played better than the opposition's goaltender? And majority of the time when we do that, we have success. But I like where his mindset's at. He's come to the rink and works hard every day. He puts in all the extra work that needs to be done right now. So that's a good thing. He's realizing that he wants to get to the next level, and you're seeing that really come out in his game right now. So I like where he's at.
Thank you for this, Keith. And for IceCaps 360 with the head coach, I'm Brian Rogers inside Mile 1 Center. Enjoy your weekend, everybody, and go IceCaps against Manchester Friday and Saturday night here in St. John's.